Powersoft has gained a reputation for making reliable and efficient and good sounding amplifiers. This has made us the favorite choice for system designers and integrators for systems where power need per channel is 200 watt and up. However, we do recognize that there's a big group of designers and integrators that don't need that much power. They work with systems ranging from 30 watt per channel to maybe 250 watt per channel. So for this reason, we're introducing a new product family called Mezzo. Mezzo consists of 8 models. There are 4 power configurations. The small power supply comes with 2 times 160 watt as well as 4 times 80 watt. The large power supply comes in 2 times 300 and 4 times 150 watt. Each of these 4 sizes come in an A version, which is networked, and an AD version, which adds Dante and AS67 audio networking. The shipping box contains mounting accessories for several different scenarios. If we start with a 19-inch rack, it's possible to use the accessories for a single unit in one rack space or 2 units in one rack space. You can also put a single unit in narrow rack size that's called 11-inch racks. There's also wall mount brackets in the shipping box. These can be used to put it on a wall, of course, for instance behind a video screen. Here it's quite convenient that the product is only 40 millimeters thick or high, so it's very narrow behind the screen. The wall mount can also be used to put it under a table or upside down in a ceiling. There's also rubber feet in the box, so they can be attached on the bottom of the unit to place it on a shelf or inside a credenza, for instance. The smaller models, so those that are 320 watt in total, they are sealed designs and they are approved for plenum mount if you use the accessory that you have to buy in addition to the product. Then you can put it in air handling spaces above the ceiling. All the Mezzo models feature networking as well as processing. They also have monitoring of the outputs, but what makes them really unique is the automatic setup. With the press of a button, the amplifier will measure all the outputs. It will automatically set the limiters for low impedance or high impedance, and it will set high-pass filters if necessary and adjust the gain so that you have full power for 4 dBu input. This means that you don't have to set any dip switches or anything, so really simple to use. The more advanced installer can choose to use Harmonia Plus and review the result of the automatic setup. In Harmonia Plus it's also possible to load presets into the unit from our database or create your own presets. You can also tune the room using the EQ in the Mezzo, and you can configure the built-in 24/7 load monitoring with binaural tones. The Mezzo is not the first compact amplifier, but it's an amplifier that's designed using our 19-inch discrete Klas D technology, proven to be reliable over the years. We've just shrunk it down to fit in half the width instead. This gives Mezzo a unique flexibility compared to other compact amplifiers in terms of handling different impedances and power levels. The small Mezzo models, so 320 watt from the power supply, so 80 watt or 160 watt per channel for the different models, they can deliver this power into 2 ohm, 4 ohm, 8 ohm, 16 ohm, 25 volt, 70 volt or 100 volt. This is quite impressive. It's probably the only product that can do this. What's even more impressive is that they can actually deliver 100% of the power from the power supply into any channel. So 320 watt into 4 ohm or 8 ohm as well as 70 volt or 100 volt. This flexibility means that one model can drive zones of varying sizes, and late design changes in the field can be handled without having to replace the equipment. The large models with 600 watt in the power supply, so 4 times 150 or 2 times 300, can drive this power into 4 ohm and 8 ohm as well as 70 volt. In the other impedances it's slightly less. The total power for 100 volt applications is 500 watt. If we talk about power sharing, then they can deliver 100% of the power, so 600 watt into 8 ohm as well as 70 volt. Some examples of how this flexibility and power sharing can be used is that if we talk about an install with, for instance, 4 zones, it could be a restaurant, for instance, the smallest zone might be 10 times smaller than the biggest zone. This is relevant both for the smaller power supply as well as the bigger power supply. And of course, in such an example, you could create infinite amounts of such examples. If we talk about zones where you want a more full range sound, so a subwoofer complemented with top cabinets. There the relationship between the sub and the tops might be 1:1 or 1:2, 1:3, maybe 4 times more power for the sub. In the extreme scenario there we have maybe 500 watt in the sub and 100 watt for the tops. If we look at the combination of subs and tops for 4-channel amplifiers, then maybe the sub could be 4 times the power of the tops, and one zone could be twice the size of another zone. This means that we have enough power in this compact amplifier to drive subwoofers in background and foreground applications. This means no more need for 19-inch racks and massive savings in floor space and real estate. The AD models with Dante and AS67 also add a gigabit switch inside and a second Ethernet port. This is especially good in retrofits where you might have just one home run cable to the network switch, and now you have 2 devices you need to connect. So now you can go into the Mezzo and on to the other product, which might be a projector or a video screen, for instance. These products also work as break-in boxes for the network, meaning that the analog inputs can be used by other equipment on the network for audio. I could talk more about other features such as the mini jack or the line level outputs, the GPIs or third-party control, but I would prefer that you go to powersoft.com and have a look at the Mezzo yourself. Thank you.